Fantasy, the genre that makes us see the finest that the human mind can think of. It's like diving deep into the imagination of the writer to get a story, get a universe that just doesn't get out of your head for an eternity to come. Anime isn't a stranger when it comes to the fantasy genre. We've got tons of titles to choose from, and today we're here to count down the best of the best, the top 10 best fantasy anime you must see no matter what. Let's get that dose of imagination ASAP. Build Divide, Code Black. With your worth on the planet being measured by your weight in a card game, it's hard to imagine a life full of competition even if it's an anime we're talking about. In New Kyoto, a city where the king makes the rules and calls the shots, Build Divide is all there is to life. Plus, with triumph over the king guaranteeing you a life full of nothing but comfort and ease, it's totally impossible for anyone skipping that offer even while drunk. Well, that's where our beloved duo comes to play, since with Teruto and Sakura in the mix, becoming a challenger to the throne might not be a pipe dream after all. Participating in battles while putting their skills to the test, the quest to take the throne for oneself wouldn't be an easy one, but the lot is determined to give it their all, and with the anime managing to deliver the setting in the best way there is, the anime for sure deserves a lot more attention than this. Paprika. One of Satoshi Kon's finest, Paprika isn't a name that needs an introduction. Taking inspiration from the likes of Perfect Blue itself, from the get-go you'll notice the movie being unlike anything you've seen before. From transitions hitting you from every direction there is, to straight up bizarre scenery popping up on the screen almost every other second, Paprika is one hell of a ride and something that you wouldn't be able to get out of your head anytime soon. It's truly a work of art, and the way it makes the story do these twists and turns makes it stand out as one of the most well-written titles there are out there. The dream world can be a dangerous realm to be in, and even if you're diving in for the right reasons, there's no telling what others could abuse the system for, you know? The DC mini sure is something that needs a lot more experimentation. A good librarian like a good shepherd. It's cool when your academic institution has these urban legends floating around, but it's even better when they end up being true and you're the one witnessing the truth yourself. When it comes to Dragonar Academy, the Shepherd sure stands out as a huge genie fan from Aladdin, ready to grant any wish that comes to one's mind. I mean, ask Yotaro Kake, since his life was literally changed by the deity in question. Him managing to save a fellow student just when she was about to bite the dust, making the show roll over those credits soon enough. That fateful day changed the guy's life forever, since with the Shinomi Happy Project, the duo and a bunch of others were about to form a posse that's going to make the institution one of the best ones out there. Let's see for ourselves how they make this happen, in addition to this mysterious shepherd no one knows the identity of. Reincarnated into the Demon King Evelogia's world. You know how these Isekai titles have been on a roll for a couple of years now, but none of them have tried to get someone in a position as Toshiaki Gozu right here, since boy is this guy something else. It's time to pay for what you've been doing all this time. I'm pretty sure that rung in Toshiaki's head when that barrel was held next to him that fateful day. But death wouldn't be so bad for our protagonist here, since with his demise making him end up meeting the one he's admired all his life, it's totally a trade he could take the bullet for all day, every day. Having the purpose of assassinating the Demon King, the fanboy ends up allying himself with him, and with the duo finally together, things are sure to get weird for their polar opposites of each other, and obsession can make one do some questionable things. Pandora Hearts. Imagine having it all taken away from you. Your possessions, your prestige, your whole existence in a couple of minutes at most. Is death the only option that remains? Oz Vesalius is in utter disarray, since tales about the abyss were to remain in those books and memories that people used to bring up when kids were trying to have a little too much fun. But now, in a situation where he has to see for himself and fight his way back to the life that he used to live not that long ago, allies are a must to make him a victor at the end of it all. with Chains bringing a plethora of possibilities to the table, and with Oz finding the answers while coming across a lot more mysteries in the process, one of the most unique cast of characters in the most beautiful universe is waiting for you to feast those eyes on. Isekai Cheat Magician. It's one thing when you're the overpowered protagonist in an anime where magic and fantasy speak for the universe itself, but it's a totally different thing when you've got your comrade in arms ready to discover it all with you. Taichi and Rin sure didn't dream of getting transported to another world that morning, since nothing but an ordinary day of school was waiting for them. Now in a totally unfamiliar setting and suddenly getting to know that you might be the most talented wizards that the world has had for ages, life is sure about to take a turn for the better for the duo right here. Now acclimating to the whole world, all the while coming across allies and foes that would make things even more interesting, finding a way back to the real world and the real life wouldn't be a piece of cake after all. Dragonar Academy. An anime about dragons and students in an academy honing their skills can never end up being bland now, can it? Well, when you've got Ash Blake himself, things can't go any right for having the nickname the #1 problem child. We're sure popular here, aren't we? Having no dragon to serve as his portfolio, one look at Ash and it's almost impossible to not write him off as the side character who's just there for the screen time. But that is until that fateful day when the beast finally awakes and Ash gets a sigh of relief for his dragons here. But it might be a little too soon to celebrate here, since with the dragon looking like a human, a girl at that too, and having the biggest ego on the planet, things didn't turn out the way we expected now, did they? This isn't going to end well. The Witcher, Nightmare of the Wolf.
I get scared too. Then I think, soon I'll be stronger than most anyone, wanting for nothing.
After how successful Castlevania had been, this movie surfacing out of nowhere wasn't any surprise at all. I mean, anime and Netflix have blended in pretty well if you don't take into consideration the live action adaptations, right? Well, in case you're missing that Castlevania binge you used to do before you got fed up with it, then this might be what you're looking for, since a similar animation and a similar bloodbath, you're going to be busy for a while here. At first, it was just for money, slaying a few here and there to grab some coins that would help Vesemir live his life. But when you've got an hour and 23 minutes of performance, you gotta pick up the pace and introduce a twist that make the viewers glue their eyes to the screen, no? Now having to face the demons from the past, and with the trailer looking like the best thing ever, Netflix sure is going to be stacked tonight. The Case Study of Vanitas. This 2021 bad boy came out of nowhere and was here to paint our world in a blue hue, cause man, is the anime too blue for its own good. With the colors red and blue having a totally different meaning to vampires, making sure they don't let their kind bite the dust, following in Alucard's footsteps can wait, since the Book of Vanitas is what paves the plot in this anime we've got here. Now Noe is as surprised as we are meeting Vanitas himself, since he's a far cry from what the fabled legend is. But the doctor's got skills to back that mouth up and make vampires know their origins, their name, to make them go sane once again. It's one of the most unique ways of therapy there is, and with combat there to get the adrenaline going, Paris has never looked any prettier in my opinion. Dorohedoro. Now, when it comes to straight up weird anime titles, we've got quite a few to serve as the nominee, since art knows no bounds after all. But when you make the main character lose his head from the get-go and replace it with the brand new alligator skull, we know what we're signing up for here, right? With blood painting the entire screen in a crimson hue to the graphics constantly looking like we've turned into an 80s TV animation, Dorohedoro holds back no punches when it comes to the execution. From one thing leading to another in the quest to have his head back, to characters being straight up out of this world both when it comes to the looks and the personalities, the show's CG is a little too insane and makes the most normal of things look like they've taken a dip in that acid that the production committee was having during the time they were animating it.